Hey everybody, it's Allie and Cain is dead. Welcome to my Y&R chat for Sunday, Cain is dead, February 6th in the year of Cain's death, 2011. Cain's dead, you guys. He is dead. I honestly spent pretty much all of Wednesday's show, all of Thursday's show in complete disbelief. I felt like Y&R isn't gonna kill Cain. Right? Y&R's not just gonna kill Cain. He's a popular character and he's hot. Hot, sexy, young guys don't just get killed off on the show. And I'll tell you what else. I don't like that Y&R refuses to comment on actors' contract statuses because it's so much easier for me to deal with whatever's coming if I kind of know that it's coming. But the fact that I didn't know whether or not Cain was really dead, it really messed with my mind. Like, I couldn't fully get into the story because I was searching furiously online for news about whether or not Daniel Goddard was actually going to leave the show and what the status was, and I still haven't really found anything conclusive. And so that made it harder for me to deal with it, you know? And I'm still in total disbelief. So there was a scene in the morgue. I'll get to all the other stuff later, but in the morgue, after Cain had already died, Colin comes to identify Cain's body. But right before he leaves, he says out loud, "This is all my fault." And he confesses that both of his children are dead because of him. And he has this very come to Jesus kind of moment where he's sorry for all of the things that he's done and he vows to never let it happen again, especially to Charlie and Matilda. And in that moment, I 100% expected the cops to just burst out of nowhere, say, "Colin, you're under arrest," and for Cain Ashby to just pop up and say, "I'm alive, bitch!" You know? I 100% felt, all the way up into that moment, that this is not really happening. This is clearly a setup to get Colin. That's what this is all about. Cain's not really dying. It's gonna be fine. This is one of those tricks. Y&R does this where they make you think they're gonna die and they're not really gonna die. But later, the turning point, Lily goes to the morgue to say her final goodbyes to her husband. Still me not believing it. Not believing it. Unable to fully get into the moment because I'm not believing it. Lily goes to say goodbye to Cain, and she's holding his hand, and she remarks about how cold it is. And that's the moment that I realized this is real, folks. There ain't gonna be no miracle here. Y&R totally killed Cain. They killed him. He's gone. If you're holding out any hope that he's coming back, let it go. It is gone, gone, gone forever. It's unbelievable. I just don't think that this could have been faked. I don't believe that there was some double. Cain had a twin brother and that could have been him. I don't believe it. I think Cain is dead. And I don't think that after everything that Cain put Lily through, that that he would allow her to believe, even for a moment, that he was dead, and to have her go through that grief. I don't believe that he would do that to her. I really don't. Especially when his death was so gory. It was so bloody. I mean, that whole death scene, the whole climax when Cain got shot was so wretched. Wretched. I knew something was going to happen. But I really was not expecting this. I knew that something major was going to happen. Well, A, because it's February sweep. Something always major always happens. But this is big time. And the key tip-off for me was that Jill and Colin are in the church getting ready to say I do. And all of the audio dropped out. It was just music. No one was actually saying anything. You were just hearing the music, and then bam! It all just exploded. Lily walks outside. Blake points the gun at Lily. She drops to the ground. Cain reaches out to try to get the gun away from Blake, and that's when shots just rang out, just reverberated. Blake falls to his death instantly, dies instantly, breaking his neck, which is a horrible death to begin with, to even think about. But Blake dies instantly. Cain falls down the stairs with this look on his face that is absolute bloody disbelief that this has happened. As the baby carriage tumbles down the church steps, which I think was the creepiest thing of all. Seeing that baby carriage just creepily tumbling down the steps, and all of the hope and all of the future for this family just wiped away in an instant. It was very sad. I don't feel good about it at all. I want to put a good face on it, and I want to try to remain positive, but I just feel sick about the whole thing. It was very, very rough to watch. Lily and Jill and Colin all hovering over Cain's body as he's like twinging and twitching. Everyone is hysterical. I mean, Jill is screaming, "You're not gonna die, it's gonna be okay." Lily is desperately trying to tell Cain that she loves him and she forgives him, as if that was going to change or affect anything. That moment of hope, just wishing that there was something that you could say to make the person stay, to make what's happening not be happening anymore. I really felt that. And then just slowly, Cain's face just changes and his whole body contorts, and you just know he's gone. Gone, gone, gone. There ain't no two ways about it, you guys. To watch somebody that you love get murdered, I just can't imagine. I really can't imagine it. At least Jill and Lily do have a lot of support around them. I mean, Malcolm and Neil are hovering over Lily more than they already usually do, and she'll have a lot of support. She probably will not have to be alone for even one moment unless she wants to be. And it seems actually like, you know, as much as she wants the support, she wants to be alone. It seems like Lily really needs time to process this. She has so many feelings, I mean, of guilt too mixed in there. And I gotta tell you, watching her watch the video, the last video that Kane made for the children, was just heartbreaking. I mean, rip my heart out, will ya? Why don't you, YNR? Just rip it right out. I don't need it anymore. That was really hard to see that. I mean, I have a lot of empathy for Lily right now. And you also really have to really give it to Jill. I mean, I gotta tell you, Jess Walton rocked me this week. She was amazing. And Jill, standing there in shock in her blood-stained wedding dress. That's a sweeps moment. That is a memorable picture. Jill standing in her blood-stained wedding dress as she just watched her son die. I gotta tell you guys, I'm hurting on this one. I really am. I am happy, though, that at least to know that Jill has a lot of support, too, because I also really liked and appreciated the moment that YNR showed us of Jill in her bedroom, standing there in the bloody clothes. I mean, they really took the time to show us that, which I appreciated. And, you know, Catherine comes into the room and Jill's just so shaken that she can't even get the clothes off of her body. She has a moment where she looks in the mirror, realizing that she's drenched in her son's blood. Can't get the clothes off. And Catherine comes in that moment to help her undress. And you just, this moment of Jill standing there in her bustier, just, you know, feeling naked and emotionally worn down. And she, you know, through all of the rivalry between Jill and Catherine through all of the years, there's this moment where the two women just have this shared grief. And Jill just looks at Catherine and she says, even though Kane wasn't our blood, he was ours. And they always did see him as a son. And there were a lot of wonderful moments before Kane died with Catherine, too. It's very hard to see. And I also really liked, though, that Lauren came to offer Jill the support. That moment when Lauren walked in the door, just, you know, again, putting aside the rivalry and saying, I'm here for you, I'm your sister. Everyone was really there to help Jill. Jill has a lot of support, too. She's going to be okay. Nina gave her quite a little gift, letting her know that she may have lost a cane, but she was gaining a chance. So we'll see how that pans out next week. I'm sure that'll be one of the huge focuses for next week. And I hope that that will be some comfort to Jill right now, because she's really going to need it. Because the aftermath is coming. That's what we're going to have to deal with now. And Colin, that despicable piece of trash. That's a kind way to put it. Trash. He makes me sick. Makes me freaking sick. He should just kill himself right now and get it over with. That's what I would like to see. That would make this feel a lot better, is if Colin would just shoot himself right in the freaking head. I'd like to see that. Because the one last little piece of this puzzle, the one little thing that hasn't yet been resolved, is Colin and his little disgusting little games. And Cain's final letter to Lily. So, the question is, did Cain reveal the truth about his father to Lily in his final letter? And most importantly, will Lily be able to take this information and save Jill from herself, from any more heartache? Really, I hope so. I hope so. Because I can't wait to never have to look at Colin again. That's what I'm most looking forward to. Never looking at his scrawny, disgusting face again. I really thought that with bringing Colin onto the show, this was going to be like a whole new lifeline into this storyline, and it was not. It drew the life. Well, I guess that's not true. It gave it some life and then took it away. I guess the thing that bothers me, well, there are a lot of things that bother me, but I gotta tell you, it really bothers me about Colin that we're supposed to believe that nobody has made this connection yet. That's ridiculous. Everybody knows in Genoa City that Cain was in trouble with some mobsters from Australia. Colin from Australia knew Cain from the past. Suddenly Cain hates him. Suddenly Colin wants to get engaged to Jill. Cain was rushing to Jill's wedding ceremony to interrupt. Come on! You can't tell me that Catherine and everybody else has not put two and two together on this yet. Okay, so now that we've talked about the storyline aspect of Cain's death, let's talk turkey. What do you guys think about Wynar's decision to kill Cain? That's pretty freaking bold, don't you think? And my question for you is, was it a mistake? Was it a mistake for Wynar to kill Cain, or was it exactly the jolt in the arm that the show needed? Now let's think about it, because I feel really wretched about Cain's death, and I do. I feel sick about it. I mean, I'm watching the show this week, and I feel sick. Like I could throw up. I feel really bad about it. But I also think that Cain has been more interesting in the past 2 weeks than he's been in the past 2 years. Really, I hate to say it, I would have loved it if Wynar would have kept Cain on the show and put him into more of a front and center kind of storyline. Give him some better material, stretch him, let's see where we can take him, rather than this wishy-washy, kind of seems like we're making it up as we go along, kind of, is he bad, is he good kind of storyline. I wish that they would have given him something a little bit, more meaty. But instead, it really seemed like Cain was kind of just starting to fade into the background. For me, at least. I mean, I don't speak for everyone by any means, but that's kind of how I was starting to feel about him. I felt passionately about Cain when he first came onto the show, and even at the revelation of his first lies, I still felt passionately about him. But lately, I found myself, commenting on, it was like the same old thing. It wasn't exciting to me. And there's a huge part of me that is going to miss him because he's been there and he's hot and he's interesting and he's something different. But there's another part of me that also thinks that I would rather see him go out with a bang than just continue to flicker. I think that there's no question that Daniel Goddard is going to have a ton of opportunities after this. I mean, especially because in his final moments, particularly the death scene and the scene in which he made the video, when we were able to watch the full length of the video to his children, really showed what a fine actor he really is. He had me in those moments. I was with him. It was gut-wrenching. He's not just a pretty face. He's a really good actor, and I think that we all know that he is going to be fine as a result of this. And I actually did go on to Twitter. I saw his Twitter feed, and he was very appreciative. A lot of fans, I think, are bombarding him with, "What's up with this? You know, we can't believe we're outraged." And he seemed really, really humbled by the fan reaction to him leaving the show, although still not really confirming anything. I don't know. But I think that we all know that he is going to be alright. The more annoying thing to me is that now we're going to have to watch Lily go through this incredible grief process as if we haven't already seen her go through grief with the cancer storyline, which was just icky. And now it's going to be again. It's just Lily and grief for months is what it's going to be. And I am just not prepared for that. I just lost someone in my family recently, and I'm just not prepared to mourn again for over this. It's just going to be through the ringer, and I'm not looking forward to that. That's the most annoying thing to me about this whole thing. I'm going to miss Kane, but seeing Lily go through this is worse, I think. Especially because at the beginning of the week, I was really enjoying seeing Lily kind of stand up to Kane and take charge of her life. And she was saying, "Hey, Kane, you know, I'm your partner, not your possession." And she kicked him out of the house. She seemed like she wasn't going to change her mind on that. And there was something that was kind of great about it, because all Lily has ever been is the victim. That's all she's ever been. In every way, in every story, Lily is the victim. And everyone in her life is just looking out for her, looking out for her, looking out for her. She has a lot in common with Sharon, actually. They should be friends. And it's sad, actually, because Drew's daughter, you would expect to be much stronger, you know? I just feel like we were starting to see glimpses of Lily becoming stronger. And now, in one foul swoop, she's just right back to square one. And I'm nervous. I'm really nervous that killing Kane is just cutting Lily off at the legs. That now officially her character is going to be a pile of soup. You know, nothing interesting, nothing challenging about her. I'm nervous about that, and even more so, I'm nervous that killing Kane is going to just be one more nail in the coffin of the waning Winters family. I really think that the best thing to come out of Kane's death is the fact that we've been able to see more of the Winters. Spending time with Neil this week was like old times. I really enjoyed it. Seeing him made me really, really miss him. I don't know, maybe Kane's absence is going to leave a little bit more room for Neil to come in there. I hope so, because I'm ready. I've been saying for months that I'm ready to get interested again in Malcolm and Neil. And I heard a rumor that Olivia's son, Nate, is going to be cast onto the show. So that could be good too. I really hope so. I hope that this means that the Winters are finally going to get the attention that they deserve. They've been pushed off to the sidelines for years. I'm sick of it. I'm ready to see him again. The other good thing to come from Kane's death is the fact that I'm starting to feel really attached to Sophia. Kane's death brought me into her story. It drew me into her. And of course, now that I like her, she'll probably get killed, right? I mean, that's pretty much how it goes around here. She almost got run over this week, but that honestly was more comedy than anything, because it went like this. It was like literally a deer in the headlights. There was nothing even, she didn't even try to move. I'm like, Sophia, you might want to just try to move out of the way of the motorcycle, and then you won't get hit by the motorcycle. But she didn't. She just stood there. It was very comical. And she hurt her little hand. Oh, her hand hurts. That's everything. That I honestly thought Sophia's gonna die now, but no, she just hurt her hand. You know, for the first time this week, I actually thought that Blake was kind of hot. I never thought he was good looking before, ever. And for some reason this week, I don't know if it was the stubble, he had kind of a beard going on, or if it was just the fact that he was on the edge. I mean, he was a wild man. He had wild eyes. His character was on the edge. You could tell something snapped in him, and something was just different about it. And maybe it was that. I don't know. Maybe it was his motorcycle helmet with his flaming skull sticker on the side of it. I don't know. Something about it was kind of sexy to me. I don't know why. But if it weren't for Blake trying to run Sophia over, then Malcolm and Sophia probably would have already broken up by now, because they were pretty much in the process of breaking up, and then Sophia gets hurt, and suddenly, you know, it's, oh, Sophia. Malcolm has a real soft spot for her, man. He has a really hard time saying no to her. But I guess now they're trying to repair their relationship. Malcolm, though, something's changed with him. He's having a hard time looking her in the eye. Did you notice? He can't really even look her in the eye, and I don't think it's fair of him to blame Sophia for all of the crap that went down, because Cain made his own bed. There's no doubt about it. Cain made the choice to keep the truth from his family, creating this whole powder keg that was inevitably gonna blow up. He made that decision rather than just trusting them enough to tell them the truth. So it was Cain's fault, not Sophia's fault. But on the other hand, while I think that Sophia's heart was totally in the right place, she was wrong too. She really was. She inadvertently made Cain's situation a lot worse by helping him perpetuate the lie. And to boot, she broke the law. And she betrayed Tucker. She lied to him. There's no way around that. But it sets her up with an opportunity for redemption. And we all love an opportunity for redemption. Now this week, we did learn that Tucker apparently worked with Sophia's dad. And Sophia's dad made some kind of shady business dealing that got him into trouble. And Tucker ended up taking the fall for Sophia's dad, so that he didn't have to lose everything, probably because he had children. And as a result, Sophia ended up with a free ride to a university because of Tucker's sacrifice. And so that's why we learned she felt like she wanted to pay it forward to Cain. And that's why she has felt so loyal to Tucker, and why getting fired has been such a monumental blow to her. And that's why she started working for Tucker. That's why she started getting in, you know, understanding his company. That's the entire connection there. So it was interesting because finally that part of the history has been revealed. So I guess it's just the future that remains to be seen. Well, Sharon lost custody of Faith this week, but it's okay because she went home and made love to Adam later that night. Come on. Sharon has had some seriously questionable behavior lately. I don't know if she got hit in the head at some point and we haven't seen it, but it's amazing to kind of see the development of Sharon recently. I'm watching Sharon and Adam make love the same night that Sharon has lost her child, and I'm just thinking the depths that Adam has drug her to are astonishing. I like it, of course, but astonishing nonetheless. The question, I guess, for you that I have is, regardless of Sharon's behavior, does she deserve to have her child taken away from her? That's the question. I wish that Nick and Sharon could have just come to an agreement on their own without having to go to this extreme of the custody battle. Because Adam is the problem here, okay? It's not Nick, it's not Sharon. Adam is the problem. It's Adam that they need to keep away from Faith, and I can't believe that Sharon can't see that. You know? No matter how we feel about Sharon and Adam, let's set that aside for a minute, because there are people on both sides of the debate, and I'm mixed, of course. They're hot, but I'm having trouble reconciling it morally. No matter how we feel about Adam and Sharon, we all have to admit here that Adam had no problem jeopardizing Faith's safety to get what he wanted back when he stole her from Sharon and gave her to Ashley. Okay, Adam did that. There's no erasing that. And who's to say that Adam would not do it again if he had the opportunity, the means, the need? Adam strikes me, as much as I like him lately, Adam strikes me as someone who will do whatever it takes. Adam would agree with that. Of course, that's exactly who he is, even if it meant jeopardizing Faith's safety. I hate to say it, but it's the truth. Sharon is a grown woman. Sharon can make the decisions that she wants to make. Sharon can see who she wants. She doesn't have to okay that with Nick or anybody else. It's Sharon's life to do with as she pleases. Separate issue. But Faith deserves someone who will look out for her best interests. And right now, Nick is the only one doing that. He's the only one doing that. It just can't be denied, you know? I'm kind of getting used to the idea of Diane and Nick together. It's grown on me, the idea. I can't help it. Diane and Nick made spicy marinara sauce this week and won me over. I'm so easy. Diane wanted to add these spicy jalapenos to Nick's bland marinara sauce, and Nick wasn't having it, and they had this cute little fight about it. It was very funny, and Diane left, and later Nick was eating the sauce, and he had to admit that it was better the way Diane made it. And there was this adorable little moment between Nick and Faith where he said to Faith, I kind of like her. Should we keep her around? And Faith was like, yeah. And I was kind of thinking, yeah, sure. Because they have a lot in common. They both really do love their children, and they seem to agree that it's the children that come first, no matter what. Because when Kyle called Diane all frantic because Victor bonked his noggin on the snowmobile, you know, they both had this moment of no matter what, the kids come first. And, you know, that's something that they share, and it's something that I like about them, and it makes me think that they might make a nice little pair. In the meantime, anyway, we all know that Nick and Sharon are going to end up back together eventually, but in the meantime, while we get this other stuff, the Adam stuff out of our system, I think this is a fine little pair. Plus, anything to keep Diane and Victor apart is okay with me. I will invent reasons to keep Diane and Victor apart. I just can't help myself. I don't like it. It's just wrong. It's just wrong for those two to be together. Although, I don't know. It kind of concerns me that Diane might actually be falling for Victor. I hate to say it. I think that she might actually have feelings for both Victor and Nick. I don't like it at all. I gotta tell you, I want Victor out of this picture. Because how long is it gonna last? How long is she gonna be able to juggle these two men? And also, having Victor in this picture is spoiling it a little bit for me, because I will admit, Diane's coming off as a little bit skanky. I hesitate to say it, but she is coming off as a little bit skanky. Pulling both father and son into this unwitting love triangle. I don't like it. It spoils me on her a little bit. So I want Victor out of this picture. Although it was kind of cute this week seeing Victor and Kyle snowboarding. Can you even imagine Victor Newman on a snowmobile? Just the mental image of that alone is enough for me. I enjoyed it. And I thought that it was kind of a fun little moment between Victor and Kyle this week, you know, with the bandages. You know, Diane has to come in and rescue him. He's got a full staff of people, but he needs Diane to bandage his head wound. And minus the romantic aspect, it was a fun little scene, and it reminded me how much I love Victor. Strange, but I miss his softer side, and it's been nice seeing him with the kids, Faith and Kyle this week, having some redeeming qualities. I've enjoyed it. Victor was so loopy after he hit his head. It was like he got a concussion or something. He was totally like a little kid, and I love seeing that side of him, and I just wonder how much longer Victor and Eric Braeden are going to be around, because Kane's death has been a reminder to me that anyone could go at any time from the show. And I've said the past 2 weeks how irritated I am that YNR is making Victor such a villain. Just such an unbelievable jerk. Especially with the Victoria and Nikki situations. So I'm just begging you, YNR, please, 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 let us love Victor again before you kill him too. Okay, you guys, that's it for me for now. I can't believe what a week it has been. I'm in shock, to be honest with you. I'm in shock about everything, and I'm equally looking forward and kind of scared to see where we're gonna go next week. But in the meantime, I will definitely be looking forward to hearing what you guys have to say. I know you're dying to tell me. There's just too many aspects for you to not leave a comment this week. So if you're not usually leaving a comment, it's okay, but this week, I mean it. I want to see comments and video responses if you're watching this on YouTube, or if you're listening to the podcast, I want to see some comments on the website at yrchat.blogspot.com. You have got to let me know where you stand on this Kane issue. I need to know, okay? So speak up, get it out there. We will get through this together, you guys. And I will be back next week to pick up where we left off. We'll see where it goes. We'll see where this train is headed. I'm happy to be on it with you. So I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.